Thanks to the supporters and channel member Richard Myers. I agree, Mrs Wearmouth. We have to prioritise one of these competitions. I don't think we've got it in us to win the Premier League and the Champions League this year. Yeah, today we face Manchester United and Paris Saint-Germain. I think we go all in on trying to beat Manchester United. So I think that goes a long way towards us winning the Premier League. And then we'll see what we've got left in the tank for PSG. There might be rotation for that one, as much as it pains me to rotate. Hello and welcome to part 157 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have those two all-important games. We're away against Manchester United. We're at home in the second leg of the Champions League knockout rounds against Paris Saint-Germain. We've not played a game since the last episode because obviously we finished things off in the last one with the PSG and Manchester City games, picking up score draws in both of them. We need to do a little bit better than that today. This is what the Premier League table looks like. Manchester United only 2 points behind us. We certainly can't afford to go there and lose. We could probably get away with going there and picking up a draw. That would leave us 2 points ahead of them with 9 games remaining. And it's doable, although there's a tricky little run of games in there still to come before the end of the season. Paris Saint-Germain, I mean, we'll try. Obviously, we're not going to throw a Champions League game, but my priority this year is win the Premier League. I think this is an incredible opportunity to win the Premier League. And as we've talked about before, the Champions League is usually easier to win than the Premier League. So as we have to win both before we can end the series, I think we go all in on the Premier League. Unless Manchester United beat us, in which case I change my tune and we go and try and win the Champions League, because a Man United win today gives them all the momentum. So this is the team we're sending to take on Manchester United. It is not as strong as I would like it to be. As you can see, there's a few players not available. Injuries to Park, Jovanovic, Kleber, Fazekas. Obviously, Jordi and Sydney are on loan at Paris Saint-Germain now. It's left us a little bit bare in the attack. Madness is going to have to start, which isn't a disaster, but it's he's not really showed us anything yet. I'm hoping he shows us something today. So we go with Perez in goal, a back four of Primus, Kovacic at centre-back, Erkan and Vinicius Antonio. We're having McKenna and Perez in midfield, Madness and Ian out wide, and then Juan Jose and Veloso up front. I am starting to come around to the idea that Kovacic's long-term future is as a centre-back. I know he's only 5'11", but having a centre-back who's that quick, he's a natural centre-back. I just like the idea of a centre-back who's that speedy. The media think he's a centre-back. Primus is great as a full-back. So I think Kovacic might be a centre-back for us. So as you can see, he's in decline in all areas because he's got his grumpy on. Until he sorts his head out, he's not really going to continue to progress as a footballer, which would be a shame. But hopefully it'll put on a little bit of a show for us today against Manchester United. Let's get the team submitted. We're looking for big performances from Kovacic, from Madness. Obviously, we need Veloso to get out there and do what Veloso does and grab us some goals. McKenna in midfield is going to be crucial. And fingers crossed we can find a way to at least not lose in this game against Manchester United. I think that, I don't know, I can't go into a big game with the priority being not to lose. We want to try and win. They've scored after a minute. That's a problem. That's a big problem because they are hunting us down. They are coming for us, and they have just had a fantastic start for the game. And I've put Kovacic at centre back to try and counter these pacey attacks, and he's done for pace. I don't understand. He's there to stop that happening, and it's the first thing that happens. Maybe today wasn't the day for me to try and be clever, but it just seemed to make so much sense. But no, we are 1-0 down. Remember, when we played at Old Trafford last season, I think they put, was it 7 goals past us? I think this was a 7-2. We beat them 6-0 at our place. They beat them 7-2 at theirs. And they look like they've started as if they mean to do that again today, and they have a second goal already. And I do think it would have been nice to be able to play them with our full-strength team. But injuries didn't force me to mess around with the defence the way I have. That was me. I would have liked to have had Kleber to go in midfield alongside McKenna today for a game like this, I'd like my two big, strong boys in midfield, and Kleber's not available. So that's unfortunate. Obviously, Park would have played as well and given us a little bit more attacking oomph. But it's not the lack of attacking oomph that's causing the problem so far. It's our inability to defend. They are absolutely ruining us. Oh, my word. Right, half an hour gone. We've not had a shot on target yet. They are rampant. They can't keep up this pace for the entire game, surely. We need to demand more. This has not been okay as a way to start a football match. We've not played this poorly this season. This first half has been not good. And of course, it then gives us confidence and momentum problems going into that game against Paris Saint-Germain. I've sat here at the start of the episode trying to decide which one of these tournaments we're going to go and win this season. By the end of the video, the answer might be neither of them, because United are teaching us a lesson here. They're a team that's been there, done that. They've got all the experience. We've never won anything, and it really is starting to show that we are struggling as we get to the business end of the season again. We've got a very young team. This won't always be the way it happens towards the end of the season, but certainly today has not gone our way so far. And I know there'll be calls for playing a more defensive system in games like this. I'm never going to do it. It's not my way. You know that's not my way. We'll beat them playing our way eventually. I'm looking at the bench trying to see if they've got anyone who's going to come on who's going to change the game. Not really. We could bring Much on in midfield, but that feels a little bit like closing the gate after the horse has bolted. McKenna's having a terrible game. I talked about McKenna beforehand, saying he'd be crucial today, and McKenna's not turned up, and that's a problem. Right, Ian is in behind here, squares it, looking for Veloso, and we've got a goal back. And it's actually gone down as an own goal, but that is an immediate response upon coming out here at the start of the second half. It's a half chance, and it's ended up going into the back of the net, and that might be all we needed to get us back into this game. Perez playing it through to Ian. Ian beats his man, plays it across into that danger area. Veloso's there. Brady is there for them. I mean, he's actually the other side of Veloso. Once Veloso's not touched it, there's not really any reason for him to touch it, but he has. I'd be so disappointed with that if I was Manchester United manager, but we're going attacking now. We smell blood. Vinicius Antonio's in again, and that's a penalty, surely. Has to be a penalty. Now, the problem we've got is Veloso has missed his last couple of penalties. He's obviously scoring goals for fun at every other opportunity, but he has been missing penalties. So if this is given, do I let him stay on it? I haven't gone and changed my penalty takers. This is where he needs to show that he's got the big balls. That's what we're looking for right here. It is going to be Veloso to take because he's our goal scorer. We've got to back him in this kind of situation. Another goal here, and we're back in this game, and he scores, and what a penalty it is. He's missed his last couple, but that one is about as perfect a penalty as you can get. It's high, it's into that top corner, it hits the post. Oh, I tell you what, he's close to missing it again, but shows the confidence of him that he's still going to put it there, even after missing his two previous penalties. It's now 3-2. We're back in the game, and Kovalik's given away a penalty. That is not ideal. And he's not exactly showing me that he's our centre-back for the next 10 years here. Right, Perez needs to keep the comeback a lot. We didn't even get to see the penalty. It was taken so quickly we didn't even see it. It's now 4-2. And hopefully that doesn't kill our spirit as we were getting back into this game. A very good penalty as well. He's just hit that very, very hard. We've had one shot on target and scored twice. I mean, that says a lot about the way we've played today. Primus from the free kick to McKenna. It's back to Kovalik, who plays it forward to Primus again, who, I mean, he's just given the ball away. There's nobody there. Madness isn't ready for being thrown into these really big games, clearly. But we don't really have another option because Sydney and Yordi have both gone out on loan. That might end up being something that we look back at thinking probably shouldn't have sent them both away. Because at least, I mean, one of them's in the team today. Probably Sydney on the right with Ian on the left if they're both here. But just as easily, Yordi could have played on that left-hand side. Ian with the shot, and it's a pretty tame one, but at least we've now had a second shot on target. But yeah, if those two players aren't out on loan, Madness isn't in the team today, and he's not played very well. But then the same could be said for a lot of these players. There's not very many good performances in this team today. We're going to bring Diaz on for McKenna. We're going to bring Francisco on for Ian. And we're going to bring Camacho on for Madness. Stick Juan Jose out there. And let's try this. We've got 20 minutes to score 2 goals, because a draw here keeps us top of the league and is a good result. Even if it's a 4-4 draw, a draw is a draw. Oh, Camacho, at least he's brave enough to take the shot on, but it's a poor one. I kind of would have liked him to find a way to slot it into the path of Veloso there. But again, in this situation, Jovanovic is the man I would have liked to have been able to bring on, or Kleber or Park. We are struggling with players being injured. And again, I can hear you comment section. If you'd have rotated, they wouldn't have all got injured. I understand, but I am getting better at rotation. If you have a look at how many games each player has played, they are being more rotated this year. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to just play a completely reserve side after a Champions League game, because we're trying to win the Premier League as well. Or, I mean, winning the Premier League is a higher priority. So we're never going to play a completely rotated 11, which is what some people seem to be asking me to do. That's poor from Camacho. He's just lumped that forward when there were passes on, and he's got to be better than that. And we do look like a team that aren't on Manchester United's level today. Every time we have the ball, we're panicking and giving it away. Every time they get the ball, they're having incisive attacks, and Perez has just made a terrible mistake. Oh dear. And it is a repeat of last year. They're up to 5 now. And this is exactly what happened last season. They got to like 3 or 4 and we just threw men forward and they kept scoring. And it's going to happen again. We're still attacking at 5-2. It's going to end up 7-2. It's going to happen 2 years in a row. Erkan, again, just aimless. We're better than that. No one's told him to do that. That is not in the instructions for today. That is just players panicking and doing stupid things. And United are now in again. And I think this is probably going to be number 6, because we're powerless to stop them scoring against us. Oh, my word. Oh, God. I said we were going to win the Premier League. Well. 6-2 now. And you can't say we haven't deserved it. We've been so poor. 2 goals absolutely flatters us. It's an own goal and a penalty, and that tells you a lot. And we've just defended so terribly. And they're coming at us again. And Kovalik has given away another penalty, hasn't he? So we've played him at centre-back, and he's given away 2 penalties. I don't think we're going to play Kovalik at centre-back any time again soon. I mean, I have to laugh because it's absurd. But we've come here 2 years in a row and lost 7-2. It's ridiculous, and it's going to cost us the Premier League, because we don't come back from this. Momentum, morale. We do not come back from this season now. We're now going to go and lose against Paris Saint-Germain. So we'll be out of the Champions League. We'll finish 3rd or 4th in the Premier League, and we'll call it a good season. And ultimately, in isolation, it is a good season. But if you look at the shape of how the season went, it's a missed opportunity. Where have our big players been staying? We can moan about the defence all you like, but Veloso hasn't turned up. McKenna didn't turn up. Perez didn't turn up. It's not just the defence. Everyone bottled that today. And that's what the Premier League looks like off the back of it. It's not over if we can sort ourselves out. But this is still a problem. He's had such a bad season. Underlined by the fact that he's just given away 2 penalties there. Let's go and take our medicine against Paris Saint-Germain, which, of course, I'm now not rotating for that game because we're now going to try and win the Champions League instead. Right, a couple of changes for the Paris Saint-Germain game. Then Elias obviously comes back in at centre-back. I've decided rather than putting Kovacic out to left-back, I'm just going to drop him. I'm annoyed with him. I'm grumpy with him. So he can fall out of the team. Primus can be our left-back from now on. Kovacic can have his spot back in. He can work to earn his spot back in the team if and when he decides to come off the transfer list. But with 21 clubs interested in him, probably fairly unlikely. Well, the one that started all these problems, Manchester City, are now only minor interest. It's interesting that it's a lot of second-tier teams, not like second-tier as in Championship, but you've not got your absolute top-level teams interested in him, apart from Paris Saint-Germain, I guess, and Manchester City. But I want my 200 million, and I ain't going to get it. So he's going to be here until the end of his contract as a reserve. So he's got another 3 years at the club, and I'll happily let him leave on a free transfer, age 26, having been a reserve for 3 years. That'll learn him. I'm that annoyed with him. In other news, Park comes back into the team on the right-hand side. He's in exactly the same situation because he's an attacking player. I can't get annoyed with him because he's an actual match winner. And to be fair, has still had a good season, despite the fact he's on the transfer list, unlike Kovacic. He's only fit to play 45 minutes, so we'll get him on for those 45 minutes and then make the change when we need to. We've also got Jovanovic back and onto the bench as well. So it is a stronger team available than the one we had against Manchester United. If you remember, we are 2-2 from the first leg. So we've got 2 away goals. The tie is level. We just need to beat them at our own ground or draw with them. Like a 1-1 or a 0-0 gets the job done on away goals. Let's just not lose. Not losing would be nice. Van Jose getting back and doing some defending. I like that very much. And lovely control from him there. He's turned up today. It seems 30 seconds on the clock. 2 lovely bits of football early on from Van Jose, but then the through ball, which is supposed to be the bit he does best of all, is not really very good. And Veloso isn't able to get in. And I mean, an early goal there would have been absolutely perfect. The highlight's actually continuing though, but Primus is there to intercept. And now Ian back on the left-hand side where he's most at home. Can he cause some problems for us down this side? Cross comes in looking for Park, and Park has scored inside the first minute. This is what I mean. He's not a troublemaker. Yeah, he wants to leave, but he's not going to stop playing as a result of it. And he's still just going to come in, score goals, be a match winner. 58 seconds, I think that was, when that goal went in. 59. Home 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0, 3-2 on aggregate. And that is a fantastic way to start the game. This is the competition we're winning this season, boys and girls, as long as we don't have to face Real Madrid, who we've shown time and time again will always beat us forever. Which is, I mean, we're close to winning both of these competitions. I don't think we're going to win either of them this year, but our average age is still only 22. So once the average age is 23, 24, then I think we're dominating world football. Until then, we're just getting closer and closer, and we've got to hope the players don't leave. Park is shattered. We're going to make him do the 45 minutes that the physio said he could do, but he's hobbling around the place as if it's the 89th minute, and everybody knows Park never makes it to the 89th minute. He's substituted on 70 minutes even when he's fully fit. And Veloso has goal number 35 of the season. He's not grumpy. He's a happy little boy scoring goals for fun. It's 2-0 and fingers crossed, after a horrible first half of the episode, we are going to navigate our way past Paris Saint-Germain and hopefully send a message to some of the want-away players that going to somewhere like Paris Saint-Germain is not the answer if they want to win stuff. It's not just that we're ahead in the game. If you look at the match stats, we're doing to Paris Saint-Germain what Manchester United have just done to us. I can understand if Kovacic wanted to go to Manchester United, but if he ends up trying to go to PSG, it makes no sense because we're obviously already better than they are. They've taken Sydney and Yordi on loan, for goodness sake. I haven't even noticed if either of them are in the team. It would be worth checking. So I think they are able to play against us as their parent club in the Champions League. I remember Thibaut Courtois playing against Chelsea all those years ago. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're involved. It was a weird decision to loan them, if that's the case. Right, Park is going to come off. we're going to bring Francisco on. I know Madness would probably be the more obvious choice, but I feel like I'm putting a little bit too much pressure on Madness at the moment. They're not even on the bench, those boys. So Francisco can come on and play on the right. Ian gets to stay on the left. Madness can come on with 20 minutes to go if we're 3-0 up, and less pressure that way. I don't want to ruin him by putting him in too many big matches too early in his home career. Veloso, he's in again. He's had to run it very wide, but there are options in the area. One of them was Ian at that far post, but he can't find him. And the PSG goalkeeper collects comfortably, but Vinicius Antonio wins it back immediately. Juan Jose trying to slot it through to Ian, and Ian is there, and Ian has scored as well, and it's now 3-0. And I think at this point, we can say that we are going to be in the quarterfinals of the Champions League for a second year in a row. We just need to avoid Real Madrid. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the draw for the next round at the end of the episode. It depends if we're the first batch or second batch of matches, and I haven't checked which one we are. But if we are able to do it, we will get the draw in as well to see who we've got coming up in the next episode. But unless there's a massive comeback from PSG here, we have relatively comfortably navigated our way past them. Oh, that was a lovely piece of distribution from Perez. I don't know if he's deliberately done that. He must have done. He's drilled that goal kick along the floor to Francisco, and then Francisco finds Veloso, and he scores it. This looks like something off the training ground. This is lovely. If he's done that on purpose, it's perfect. The fact it was threaded so perfectly through the eye of the needle between those two PSG players suggests it was a very fortuitous mishit that Francisco did brilliantly with once he received it. But either way, I think Perez claims that as deliberate. The other Perez now taking the corner, and it's 5. And James Francisco showing once again that when he gets the opportunity, he's still a very, very good player for us. It's the rise of Veloso that's caused the problem with him not being able to play. But when he gets his opportunities, he is great. Right, I think this is probably my cue to make some substitutions. I can't believe how well we're playing in this game compared to how poorly we've just played against Manchester United. So we're going to take off the 2 central midfielders. Jovanovic can come on in there. Diaz can come on as well. Those two are the most tired. It does mean Madness doesn't get that appearance that I promised him. Although, to be fair, I said he could come on if we were 3-0 up on 70 minutes. We're actually 5-0 up. So on that basis, he doesn't get to come on. Ian across to Francisco again. Veloso, and it's just a little bit too high and wide. But this front four are playing quite well. Maybe Francisco should have played against Manchester United. I don't really like playing him on the wing because he was always such a threat when he played up front. But he's never going to get in past Veloso. I'm never going to play Veloso and Francisco together because I want that creative player alongside Veloso that Juan Jose or Camacho or Jovanovic can do for us. So I think if Francisco's ever going to force his way into the team as a starter again, it's going to have to be on that right wing. And I mean, he's had a very good game out there today. 5-0 against Paris Saint-Germain. That'll do nicely. What a game of two halves. An episode of two halves. This has been. Right. Have all the games been played now? No, they haven't. So we won't actually get the draw because the draw will be next week now. So it'll just be a mystery opponent in the next round of the Champions League. You can see there some of the teams that might be available to us as mystery opponents. This tournament doesn't get any easier the deeper into it you get, boys and girls. If you have it, can I just point out as well, I know I was doing my outro and I've jumped back, but Veloso's second top scorer in this as well. He is scoring goals in both major competitions. The man is just unstoppable. And he's still only 22 years old. What a best £2.4 million anyone ever spent? Maybe. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.